We're going to get some Nick Bantock inks going here to do a distress technique that's much lighter for spring. Take your Nick Bantock ink pads and put them directly on your nonstick craft sheet, starting with your lightest color, working to the darkest. Now we're going to spray those inks very liberally with plain water. You'll take your piece of cardstock and lay it down on that ink and pull it through. It's going to take a little bit of time to pick up all the ink, but you're getting the color down onto your cardstock. Take your heat gun now and dry that layer. What we're doing is we're building up layers of color. So we're going to run it through the same ink again, and it's going to show more color here. And then we'll have to go through that same process of drying the ink in between. So you're going to use your heat gun repeatedly for this technique. Since we're trying to make this lighter, I'm going to use a little more yellow, so just put some more yellow down on your craft sheet or your lighter color. Spray it again with the water and pull it through again. This ink is water reactive, so the water doesn't cause a problem, it makes the ink come together. Now we're going to spray some ink into your hand, throw it down on there. This creates water spots. We'll dry it again. Now you can see that the background has started out really nicely. I'm going to take this stamp. It's by Fred Mullet. And we're going to stamp in a couple places on this with the lighter green color. Now we'll take the darker green ink with this Club Scrap stamp and stamp it over on a couple of other spots. This is just giving us tonal texture and a little bit of a image behind that. So now we're going to use this edge distressor. This is made by Tonic. There's other brands of these available. Get real rough with this and use quite a bit of pressure so that you get a lot of the paper off of it. And you see it makes quite a mess, so just push that off to the side. And instead of using a dark colored ink here, like you would with regular darker distress, I used the lightest ink since we're trying to go for that lighter look. And I'm just using a makeup sponge and rubbing that ink on there. Here's my favorite part. This paper crimper is by Fiskars, and it has a real nice metal tooth to it that works great with chipboard. Then grab some sandpaper, even an emery board would work, and sand off those edges that came up, just so you get a little more distress there on that leaf. You can see that it's got a real nice distressed look to it. Now the trim that I'm using on this card just came out of my scrap bag. I have quite a lot of ribbon. So it's a little bit of green grosgrain ribbon, and I'm just putting it down with some adhesive. And then the flowers are the fun part. These flowers are some vintage trim, probably from the 70s. And I'm just going to cut that apart so that I have separate flowers. And those are like sewing trim, they're fabric. Sort of like those old appliques. Just lay those out in a pleasing design, along with that distressed leaf. And I hold all those down with glue dots. You could use a different kind of flower here, Prima flowers or paper flowers or whatever you have in your stash. Then just take a card base. I'm using confetti white cardstock for the card base and for the card front. That's what I started with, the same cardstock. Just get that all glued down, and now you have a distressed card that's much lighter for spring. Thanks for stopping by.